Top 10 Richest People on Wall Street. Wall Street, the home of fortune, home to some of the most foremost stock brokerage companies in the world. The 8-block street is without a doubt the richest block in the world. With an estimated market capitalization of $30.8 trillion, calling Wall Street a modern temple of wealth is no big stretch. Wall Street's history is contentious and sometimes controversial. Millions have been made and lost trading on this street. So without further talk, let's dive straight into our list of the top 10 richest guys on Wall Street. Number 10. Joe Louis, $5.7 billion. A British national born on the 5th of February 1937, this 83-year-old man holds the number 10 spot on the top 10 richest people on Wall Street with a net worth of $5.7 billion. Joe Louis began amassing his wealth as far back as the 1980s and 90s. After selling the family business, he began to deal in currency trading. He finally got his big break in September 1992 when he bet alongside George Soros on the pound crashing out of the European exchange rate mechanism. That bet paid off rather well, so well in fact that some say he made much more money than Soros, whom he followed to make the bet. Not only is he active as an FX trader, he is also the major investor of KRAVIS Stock Group. KRAVIS Stock Group happens to own over 200 companies that is spread over 15 countries. Among these companies are like Nona Medical City, London Premiership Soccer Team, Tottenham Hotspur, and Travis Stock Cup. Joe Louis has his hands in a lot of pies, and he also has a stake in not only Mitchells & Butlers plc, the largest pub operator in the United Kingdom, but also in roughly 135 restaurants in the United States, which operate under various brands like Abe & Louie's and Freebirds. Joe Louis has a deep appreciation for the arts, and he owns rare works of great artists like Picasso, Matisse, Lucian Freud, and Francis Bacon. He has several homes in places like Florida, Argentina, and the Bahamas, but he prefers to work from his yacht. Joe Louis is married with 2 children. Number 9. Henry KRAVIS, $6 billion. American businessman Henry KRAVIS was born on the 6th of January 1944 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 76-year-old man with a net worth of $6 billion takes the 9th spot on our list. Best known as the co-founder of Kohlberg Kravis Roberts & Company, which is a multinational private equity firm that specializes in leverage buyouts. Henry KRAVIS earned his net worth based on his career in business finance. His company was founded in 1976 because of the tension arising from the Bear Stearns and the trio Kohlberg, Kravis, and Roberts. Over time, Kohlberg, Kravis, Roberts & Company have invested in several other enterprises like Hospital Corporation of America, Regal Intergroup, First Date, Duracell, Toys R Us, and Playtex. Henry KRAVIS is also a well-known political supporter of many political figures like President George W. Bush and John McCain. As his business headquarters is in New York, Henry KRAVIS splits his time between his New York City residence and his home in Palm Beach, Florida. He is married to his economist wife, Marie Jose, and they have 2 children together. Number 8. David Shaw, $6.8 billion. American computer expert and biochemist David Shaw holds the 8th position on our list with an estimated net worth of $6.8 billion. Born as David Elliott Shaw on March 29, 1951, David made his fortune as the founder of the hedge fund company D.E. Shaw & Company. His company makes use of computer-driven mathematical algorithms for securities trading. Also known as the King Quant, his company takes the lead in high-speed quantitative trading. David Shaw graduated from the University of California, got his PhD from Stratford University in 1980, and became a member of Columbia University's Department of Computer Science. There, he made extensive research in massively parallel computing. A little over 6 years later, Shaw began to work for Morgan Stanley, and after 2 years, he took the initiative and began his own firm, D.E. Shaw & Company. Twice he has been appointed to the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. He was first appointed by President Bill Clinton in 1994, and the second was by President Obama in 2009. Shaw has since 2001 turned to scientific research in computational biochemistry. He is currently chief scientist of D.E. Shaw Research. Number 7. Leon Black, $8 billion. Philanthropist, entrepreneur, and art collector Leon Black was born in 1951, is the 7th richest person on Wall Street with a net worth appraised at $8 billion. Earning his fortune as the co-founder of private equity firm Apollo Global Management, which is now estimated to be worth more than $300 billion in assets, Leon Black holds the offices of chairman, CEO, and director. As chairman of New York's Museum of Modern Art, he is quite the avid art collector. He is a trustee of the Asia Society and Mount Sinai Hospital. Leon Black was born to prominent Jewish businessman Eli M. Black, who once owned the United Brand Company, under which the famous Chiquita banana brand is a subsidiary. When Leon was only 24 years old, his father committed suicide by jumping off the 4th floor of the Pan Am building in New York. It was later released to the public that Eli was under investigation for bribing government officials in Honduras. After earning his undergraduate degree from Dartmouth and his MBA at Harvard, Leon began working for the investment bank Drexel Burnham Lambert Incorporated in 1977. He climbed the corporate ladder and ultimately served as not only managing director, but also head of the mergers and acquisitions group, and he was co-head of the corporate finance department. The company eventually collapsed in 1990 when its legal activities in the junk bond debt markets was revealed. Following the collapse of the company he had worked so hard for, Leon, along with several other former colleagues, went on to co-fund Apollo Global Management. Like the collapsed company, Apollo specializes in leverage buyout transactions and purchases of distressed securities involving industry consolidations, corporate restructuring, as well as other unique financial situations. Number 6. Charles Schwab, $8 billion. Born on the 29th of July 1937 in Sacramento, California, Charles Schwab, an American businessman and inventor, has an estimated net worth of $8 billion, making him the 6th richest person on Wall Street. The 82-year-old man is the founder of the Charles Schwab Corporation, which is a brokerage firm that have over 8 million clients in its various offices around the world. Even though he retired as CEO in 2008, he is the chairman and the largest shareholder. He got his BA in economics in 1959 from Stanford and his MBA from the Graduate School of Stanford University. Schwab, along with 3 other partners, launched an investment newsletter called Investment Indicator in 1963. Where its 3,000 subscribers had to pay $84 a year as subscription fee. Their firm incorporated as First Commander Corporation in California in April 1971, and Schwab bought all of the stock in 1972. In 1981, the Bank of America offered to buy 37% ownership of stock for $53 million, which he agreed to but bought back in 1987 for $230 million when the Bank of America needed money. Schwab retired as the CEO in 2008, but remained the chairman and largest individual shareholder. Charles Schwab was married to Susan Cotter Schwab, and they had 3 children before divorcing. He then married Helen O'Neill and had 2 children with her. Schwab serves as the chair for the board of trustees for the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art and established the Charles and Helen Schwab Foundation, which provides grants to dyslexic children. Charles Schwab contributes generously to conservative political causes, donating $2 million to Donald Trump and $101,700 for Trump's legal fees in July 2017. Number 5. Harold Simmons, $9 billion. The 82-year-old American businessman is the 5th on the list and one of the richest people in Texas, with an estimated net worth of $9 billion. His net worth is a reflection of his success in the business world, especially the LBO concept he helped devise. Through his financial practice, Harold Simmons has a piece of several large pies, from NL Industries to CompX International, from Titanium Metals Corporation to Kronos Worldwide to Valhai Once, and so on. Not just a businessman, Simmons was also quite the political activist. He has always been associated with several right-wing politicians and was once noted as a big donor to the campaigns of presidents like Ronald Reagan. Quite unlike the others, Harold Simmons came from a middle-class family where both his parents were teachers. He got his degree in economics from the University of Texas. He worked hard in a number of banks and financial institutions before he made it through a series of leveraged buyouts. He has also contributed a great sum to a number of charities. Number 4. Ken Griffin, $10 billion. Born in Daytona Beach, Florida, the 4th richest man in Wall Street, Ken Griffin has an estimated net worth of $10 billion. Even before graduating at Harvard University, Griffin had begun trading and made a killing of $1 million around the time he graduated. He then launched his own hedge fund group, Citadel LLC, which became a big hit in 1990 and the early 2000s. He was once one of the richest Americans and even appeared on the Forbes and Fortune list before he was dealt with a hard blow in 2008, where both he and his company took a huge loss, personally losing over $1 billion and his fund well over $9 billion. Fortunately, he was able to recover and now has $30 billion under his management. Like many others on this list, he is an avid art collector and sits on many philanthropic boards, donating over $125 million to the University of Chicago in 2017 alone. He also has his own charity foundation, Citadel Group Foundation. He is currently based both in New York City and Chicago, but has homes all over the world. Number 3. Steven Schwartzman, $11.4 billion. Born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, this 73-year-old man is the third richest guy on Wall Street right now, as he is valued at $11.4 billion. This also earned him the honor as one of the richest people in New York. A graduate of Yale University with a master's degree from Harvard Business School, Schwartzman had begun his finance career even while he was still in college. Upon completion of his graduate school, Schwartzman worked for the Lanham brothers, becoming a managing director and then head of global acquisitions and mergers. Later, in the mid-80s, he left the firm to co-found the Blackstone Group, a firm that dealt with acquisitions and mergers. When his business partner retired in 2008, he became the sole owner and CEO of the company, currently managing $190 billion in assets for several firms. The value of the Blackstone Group increased by 15%. As a philanthropist as well, Schwartzman has helped lay the education of over 100 disadvantaged children in New York City. There are reports that he personally reviews their report cards and writes to them every semester. Number 2. David Tepper, $12 billion. The second richest man in Wall Street was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on the 11th of September, 1957. This 63-year-old businessman and philanthropist has an estimated net worth of $12 billion, making him one of the richest people in New Jersey. An MBA holder from Carnegie Mellon University, Tepper began his career in finance when he started working for Republic Steel. He worked for Keystone Mutual Funds in the mid-80s, which provided better opportunities for him. He moved to Goldman Sachs, where he worked for 8 years before he became a head trader on a high-yield desk. In 1993, he founded his own company, Apollousa Management, which managed to stay afloat during the economic downturn. Reports say that he sold his interest to HP, Pfizer, Yahoo, and the Bank of America, and bought stakes in oil refineries and General Motors. He is known to support wealthy causes, as he was known to give $7 million to various food banks and $55 million to Carnegie Mellon's business school. Number 1. Stephen Cohen, $14 billion. With a net worth of $14 billion, the richest man in Wall Street is none other than Stephen A. Cohen. Born in Great Neck, New York, the 63-year-old hedge fund manager is the founder of SAC Capital Advisors, a hedge fund which focuses solely on equity market strategies. Cohen began his hedge fund in 1992 with only $25 million. Today, he manages $14 billion in assets for over 900 people globally. He gained recognition in the late 90s and early 2000s as a powerful Wall Street trader for his slam returns. There were also suspicions of insider trading, and he soon became the ultimate target of the Securities and Exchange Commission as well as the Department of Justice. A private man, very little is known about Cohen outside of trading. Unlike his contemporaries, Cohen grew up humbly, growing up in Great Neck, Long Island, with a homemaker for a mother and a father that worked as a dress manufacturer and as the third of 8 children. Cohen owns an art collection that is valued at about $1 billion and donates $35 million annually. Well, there you have it, guys, the top richest people on Wall Street and their estimated net worth. If you're interested in making your fortune on Wall Street, these billionaires have laid a fine print on how to go about it, eh? If you like this video, please don't forget to click like, comment, and subscribe for more.